Hey, how's everybody doing today? This is Sean. It's good to see everybody. Hey, welcome back. For those of you that have seen my Facebook lives before, appreciate you being on. For those of you that may have missed the live recording, I want to welcome you, those of you viewers who are watching it perhaps in its recorded state. So thanks for viewing as well. Hey Heather, how are you? But what I wanted to spend the 10 minutes today talking about a little bit is kind of self-awareness as it relates to communication, whether it be in a team setting at work, whether it be in your family life at home, whatever. David, Donnie, good to see you guys. Thanks for being on. So first, a plug here, right? There's a book called Make a Difference here by a guy named Dr. Larry Little. And Dr. Little came and actually spoke to a team, an HR team that I used to be on, and what he talked about made a great deal of sense to me. Thanks, Heather. Maggie, how are you? Thanks for popping in. I know that you've been busy traveling, so it means a lot that you're on today. But hey, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with the work of a guy named Dr. Carl Jung. That's Jung. But a lot of what I'm going to talk about today is based on his work and his theory. You guys may type a 1 down here if you're familiar with what the DISC analysis is. And you guys might have heard it like ENTJ or EMTJ or something like that. And if you know what your score is, right, like I'm an ENTJ, then type that down there. Donnie is watching in traffic. Fantastic. Jesse, good to see you, man. But what I like what Dr. Larry Little did was a little bit different. And the way that I learned it was more of a colors analysis. And so it's a circle and it's broken into quadrants. And what it talks about a little bit is like, there's if you're a green color, then you tend to be very analytical, really into the data. You don't really make spur of the moment decisions. You want to really think things through, have a lot of information. Devin, good to see you, man. Thanks for being on. The orange tend to be what they call drivers, or people that really try to push for results, tend to be a bit more abrasive, but they're really focus driven. Yellow or gold, like Denise is about to talk about, is they tend to be task driven. They're typically about lists. They're very dependable and follow through in getting things done. So very regimented in kind of how they go about their day. And then there's finally the blue, which are called amiables. And the blues, they tend to be more about, kind of the team builders. They want everybody to get along. They're the ones that kind of speak up and ask how everybody in the group, if like a decision works for them. And they call them amiables, right? So Dr. Larry Little, his book is a little bit different, and he's broken it down to 4 animals, basically. There's the much-loved monkey, okay, and the monkey basically is going to be very people-oriented. So similar to that blue that I described, but they're really about kind of the energy of the experience and being around people. So a lot of camaraderie, a lot of fun, right? People like being around the monkeys. They make people laugh, they entertain them, right? So if you think about a monkey, right, a monkey can be kind of silly and cute and all that good stuff. Mike Berry, good to see you, man. Thanks for being on. I don't know if you're in traffic too or not. We're going like 190 miles an hour. I saw your post. But then next is what they call the leading lion. And the leading lion is kind of a combination of what I described earlier with the orange and the gold, right? So they're drivers. They try to push the team for results, but they're also very methodical and very intentional about how they go about getting things done as well. Very task or list driven. Then there's the competent camels. And those are kind of a combination of that gold list driven, but also the green, which is the analytical piece, right? So they tend to kind of plod along a little bit more slowly, to make sure have you heard the term analysis paralysis? those just might be some of your competent camels. And then finally is the tranquil turtle. They're really easygoing, easy to get along with. Everybody kind of likes being around the tranquil turtle. Really good at the interpersonal relationships. And so they tend to be a little bit like that, like the blue or amiable that we talked about as well. So Donish, you're not yellow on this scenario. So that's what I was going to ask you guys is based on what I wrote down, if you thought, or if you kind of think about what you might view yourself as, which animal or which color would you be? So type that down in the comments section and let us know. So what I think will be a little bit of fun here is if you guys go to www.coachingtech, that's coaching, T-E-C, coachingtech.com, then you can actually take the self-assessment for Dr. Larry Little's work, and it'll spit out at the end what animal that you are. So why does that matter? Well, it matters for two reasons, right? So one, it's good to be self-aware. So if you're more self-aware of what your personal style is, then you understand how others view you. Okay, so Jesse, you are a platypus. Why does that matter? Well, it matters because if you run into personality conflicts, and I don't mean like fighting, right? But I just mean in terms of some people work together better than others, and often it just comes down to not that they're good or bad people, but that their styles don't necessarily mesh as well, right? So if you get two lions in the room, for example, sometimes it's best maybe to have one lion in the room, right? And maybe a couple of monkeys and then a bunch of the turtles, right? So when you think about a team dynamic, or you're assembling teams or you're selecting teams, you might want to think about what types of animals that you're dealing with and assemble a team kind of thoughtfully that way so that you've got complementing styles, right? But just good old-fashioned self-awareness, if you're going into a discussion with somebody, it might be important to know what their style is. So if you know what your style is and you know what their style is, and then you think about, well, which of these animals kind of get along the best, and the book talks about that as well. It talks about, hey, if I'm a turtle and I'm dealing with a lion, what might be the predisposed upside to that dynamic, and what might be the watch-outs or the things that I need to be aware of. Jessica and Jay, good to see you. Thank you guys for popping in. So when you think about dealing with the lion, right, or somebody that's a driver from the other one, what we know about those folks is they typically want you to be prepared. They don't want you to come in and beat around the bush and, blah, 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 blah. So if you're an analytic or a green and you've got all this information and you thrive on information, guys, the lions don't care. The drivers don't care. They just want you to come in and make a recommendation and give them the quick 2 to 3 bullets and then get out. Okay? So that's important to know. If I'm an analytic, I don't want to go in to the lion's den, so to speak, and start into some diatribe on all the data and analytics. The drivers view that as, well, hey, that's what I hire you to do. I don't need you to come in and drop all that on my desk. I pay you to go and think about the information and come up with a recommendation, and then come tell me why that's a good idea, and then I'm going to take that and I'm going to push it through the organization and make it happen, because that's what lions do. That's what drivers do. They make it happen. Does that make sense? So Heather, you think you're a turtle or a camel? Thank you. Thanks for sharing. So look, I think that I'm probably a little bit lion and monkey, but I've also got some of the camels. So actually, when I took my assessment, I'm kind of a perfect 3-step progression between. So I'm kind of this weird hybrid of all three. But I think that the lion is probably one that's my primary one. But I can be a little bit of a monkey for anybody that knows. Hey, Jesse. But anyway, so look, that's the other important thing to know, right? Is that when you think about these, it's also important the context of the setting that you're in, because you may not be a lion at work, but you may be a lion at home. Or you may not be a lion at home, but you may be a lion at work, right? So it's important for you not only to take the assessment, but an interesting exercise is that if you have someone in your family that knows you quite well, take it as if they were answering on your behalf. Or if you have coworkers that might take that assessment as if they were taking it as you, and then see what their results are, because how you view yourself may not necessarily be how others view you, right? So when we talk about that self-awareness, that adds a little bit of perspective into what you might truly be as you prepare then to have the best kind of interaction and correspondence with people, either in your family or at work, right? So anyway, that's really all I had. I think it's kind of cool, and again, there's tons of different tools out there, but this book is, let's see, I should have looked before. It's like 89 pages, right? Plus the index and stuff in the back, but it's about 89 pages, so it's real easy to get through. It's an entertaining read. It's interactive, right? You get to go online. Again, that's that coachingtech.com, TEC on tech. So anyway, go check it out. Have a little bit of fun with it. And as you think about how you communicate, try to apply it and utilize your learning as you work with others. So that's all I had. You guys have a great rest of your Tuesday. And for those of you camels out there, you know what tomorrow is? Hump Day! You guys have a great day. Take care.